Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. We are here on North in a domination match in the Russian Tier 6 Premium Destroyer Leningrad. This is archive footage off my old laptop, that's why there was no intro. There was a quick look at the teams. We are top tier. And the Leningrad is a ship that used to be my favorite destroyer in the game. It's big, it's fast, it's got good guns, 8-kilometer torpedoes at the time. The tech tree ships had 4-kilometer torpedoes. But unfortunately, in wargaming's buffing and nerfing of the game and various ships, the Leningrad's been left behind. So let's talk about the first nerf. They nerfed concealment. And so you would think, yeah, it's a Russian destroyer. Concealment isn't a big deal, but it is a big deal when you have 8-kilometer torpedoes and your concealment gets nerfed, and then you don't have the stealth torpedo window that you used to have because the commanders you use don't have the same concealment values. Nerf number one. All right, then the Leningrad was nerfed when Wargaming buffed the Minsk and other destroyers in the tech tree. And it wasn't just a buff to the main battery reload. They also buffed the torpedo range by 2 kilometers. So the Minsk and Gnevny used to have 4-kilometer torpedoes like the Podvoisky does. And that was another huge advantage for the Leningrad. But now those ships have 6-kilometer torpedoes, while the Leningrad's torpedoes remained at 8 kilometers. So the second buff that those tech tree ships got was a buff to their main battery reload. And this is a direct attack on the Leningrad because the Leningrad has the exact same guns and did not receive that same reload buff. Okay? So concealment got nerfed for every destroyer. That cut into the Leningrad's stealth torpedo window. The tech tree ships got a torpedo range buff that the Leningrad didn't get. The tech tree ships got a main battery reload buff that the Leningrad did not get. Look at the ship, it's beautiful. I love it, it's fast. But I'm going to show you throughout the course of this video, which was made simply to see if the Leningrad could still hang out there at Tier 6 anymore after all of these nerfs to the Leningrad and buffs to the other ship. Can the Leningrad still get it done out there? I think we're going to finish off the Mahan here for our first kill. So let's go over to WoW's builds. By the way, post buff to the Minsk, nerf to the Leningrad. Leningrad damage record 143,988, base XP record 3695. Minsk damage record 182,600, base XP record 4361. Do you need more proof? I will give you more proof as we try to finish off La Galissonière by engaging him with our guns. As you can see, yes, it still has that beautiful flat trajectory that you know and love. Maybe I should have been shooting armor piercing. I was not certain that I was getting the flat broadside necessary to do that with, but it does not matter because despite all my attempts to farm damage, I think he's going to get a torpedo right here and get finished off. All right, somebody else killed him. So we're going to cut in. All right, going back to WoW's builds. By the way, not in any other Leningrad video I've made, and I've made a ton of them. Sigma 2.0. Fires per minute 4.09. Armor piercing arming threshold 22 millimeters. Torpedo reaction time 7.69 seconds. So the short range Russian torpedoes have a really short range reaction time. The long range Russian torpedoes have a higher reaction time. Stat selection, hit points, firing range, high explosive damage per minute, maximum speed, and sea detectability. We are comparing 28 ships at Tier 6 when we do these stats. Hit points, 9 out of 28. With 15,200. Firing range, 10 out of 28. The Gajimata, number 1, 11.1. High explosive DPM, 18th out of 28. Just 114,000 damage per minute. The Minsk, by the way, 142,500 as we're moving in on that Scharnhorst. Max speed tied for first with the Minsk and Lay Terrible at 43.0. Sea detectability, the Minsk and the Kiev are the worst at 7.5. The Leningrad is next at 7.1, tied with the Sims. So you can see at one point, before all the premium ships got added at Tier 6 and the new destroyer lines, maybe the Leningrad was just outside the big three, in my opinion. The big three being Lay Terrible, Kid, and Z35. I would have put the Leningrad a tier down from that. I think now you wouldn't even put it there. You would say this is a below average destroyer. All destroyers at the tier considered. I think the stats back me up on that. Due to the nerfs and buffs that we've talked about. Primarily, the tech tree ships got a lot better, and no changes from the tech tree ships carried over to the Leningrad. Now, I'm not espousing that the Leningrad should get 10-kilometer torpedoes. I mean, as you can see right here, we're going to knock down the Scharnhorst almost nothing and then finish them off with our guns. But what I am saying is that, at the very least, the reload boost that the Minsk got, the Leningrad should get that same reload boost. There shouldn't be any difference in the reload of the Minsk and the Leningrad. And that's one big thing they could do that wouldn't offend anybody and will be totally fine. You know, and hey, if you want to say, well, the Minsk has better concealment, you know, or the Minsk has worse concealment, great, put the concealment of the ship on par with Minsk. Give me the reload. I'll take my chances. I will take my chances with concealment. All right. So that's that. You know, and so here, you know, we got a high caliber medal. We have a couple kills, mostly doing torpedo damage, although we did smoke that lower tier destroyer. You know, I like the Minsk, I like the Leningrad. I love the way it looks. I think it's a nice ship, but it's not compelling anymore. It's not a ship that you get in and you feel the uber confidence that when you roll out of the port, you know you're going to do good. And the fact of the matter is there's too much radar now. There's too much HE spam now. There's too many other good destroyers now to just roll out and waffle stomp people in the Leningrad. The Leningrad's power crept. It's been power crept by other new destroyers. It's been power crept by the buffs to the Minsk. And it's been power crept by the nerfs to everything else we talked about. So here, you know, a non-gunboat, we're going to move in. We're going to drive that gunboat, I think it's the Jervis, or drive that destroyer out of the smoke screen using our torpedoes. As you can see, Salvo 1 going through the smoke right now. Salvo 2 preceding our ship. We're going to turn and follow it in. And right now, my teammate in the other destroyer is making a huge mistake. He is going into this cap circle, and just earlier he was saying, hey, capture Charlie. He should have gone to capture Charlie, and maybe we wouldn't have lost this match. I hate to say it, when a destroyer starts following me around, I start to think that destroyer captain doesn't have any idea what they're doing. Because Charlie's there, this is a domination match. He was saying capture Charlie, and then he decided not to capture Charlie. Now here we're going up against the Shkone or Shkane, and I just can't hang with this DPM anymore. I don't have the ability. Now I also don't have the hit points, because I've been damaged a lot. He hasn't. But then the other thing is I'm going to get this other cruiser shooting at me. We do get a Confederate medal. I mean, that's great and everything. But at the end of the day, the nerfs and buffs I've talked about have really left the Leningrad behind in terms of the gameplay meta here among Tier 6 premiums. All right, only so much of that I can watch. We fast forwarded to the end. Of course, my team lost. Pretty good game money-wise. We end up with the high caliber medal, Confederate medal, devastating strike medal, 94,769 total damage. Had a fair amount of torpedo strikes, 5 of them, 3 big kills, solo base cap, 766,915 silver, 6450 ship XP, 12,058 commander XP in the Leningrad. I would love to love the Leningrad the way I used to. I just think wargaming's changes to the game have left Leningrad behind. Let me know what you think in the comments. See you tomorrow for that Gnevny Tech Tree Spotlight.